Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will talk about common themes which are frequently and generally present in the writings of naturalist writers. So far as this movement is concerned, you people have got its definition, its background, as well as its proper understanding that what sort of naturalism movement is, or what does it mean philosophically. So it's time to understand common themes first and then typical themes. So, what are the common themes? Number one and most common theme is fight for survival in an uncaring universe. The people under this movement are going to take universe as uncaring, harsh, brutal, and the survival of the fittest is only possibility in this universe. Then people are fated to a station prepared by heredity, environment, and social conditions. People are going to have knowledge by their traditions, by their heredity, and then environment plays its proper role, and social conditions also, which are giving some opportunity to the people, but only the stronger people, only the able and efficient people will avail themselves of those opportunities. Then heredity, environment, and social conditions prepare for them a sort of platform through which the people can become something or they can become nothing. It depends on their own performance. Number three common theme is an indifferent deterministic universe where human beings will exercise free will. That this is the common idea in naturalist writing, that people should try to exercise their free will uh, while living in this indifferent and deterministic universe. Universe is uncaring, universe is not cooperative, universe is indifferent, and it is deterministic. It means your fate is already determined. Now you have to take the decisions, so you must exercise your free will. This is the fight, this is the idea in naturalist writing. The power of primitive emotions to negate human reason. Again, the fourth or the last common theme is that old emotions are always there to negate human reason, human intellect, whereas naturalist writers stress on the exercise of human reason. Now the typical themes. In typical themes are significant and important themes. First of all, we will talk about scientific principles, and we can say that naturalist writers apply scientific principles to the fictive world they create. Keep this thing in your mind that a writer is going to give you an idea of creating his world. Whatever the theme in his writing is, he is going to create that world on that particular theme. So like scientists conducting experiments, they introduce characters to certain circumstances and then dramatize the interaction that generates events. Uh, as scientists are always doing experiments, in the same way the writers under naturalism movement, they introduce characters to certain circumstances and afterwards they create events. And we can say that characters' inherited traits and environmental influence determine plot outcome. What sort of upheavals, what sort of stages are coming into the plot of that novel, all these things are based on the inherited traits of the characters as well as the influence of the environment on that character. Sorry. In some cases, we can say that an unexpected opportunity is also introduced to give the character a chance to take it or to ignore it. Sometimes you are going to have some sort of choice, like to do something or to negate something. Given extreme circumstances, desires, and needs, characters make decisions they would not otherwise make. The naturalist writer believes that the character's true natures emerge in these situations. When situations are extreme, when desires are extreme, when needs are extreme, the true nature of characters or character emerges at that situation. The second most important idea, which is also scientific and that is used in naturalist writing, is conditioned behavior. Characters learn how to behave when they are exposed repeatedly to the same environmental influences. And here we can quote the example of Henry Fleming from the novel The Red Badge of Courage. He quickly learns how to behave in order to survive in the extreme circumstances of war. Next, number two example can be taken from The Call of the Wild, and the character is Buck, who is first conditioned to hate people, but later he learns to trust the right man. So these are the conditions, which condition the behavior or which give the influence of the character. And next point is Darwinian theories. Darwinian theories are sometimes evident in naturalist writing. The first novel which can be exemplified is Sister Carrie, and in this novel, Carrie is inherently stronger than Hurstwood. As a result of his weakness, he abandons all of his comforts and ultimately commits suicide. While self-reliant, Carrie enjoys a successful stage career. So one is going to abandoning that thing and the other is going to follow or pursuing that particular thing. So here again, according to Darwin, only fittest will survive. We can conclude this idea of Darwinian theories in a way that society is unforgiving and harsh toward the weak, but society offers towards to its strongest members, which suggests that civilized society is as much a forum for competition among its members as nature is for animals. As if nature is going to provide shelter, going to protect the stronger animals, in the same way society is unforgiving and harsh toward the weak people who cannot survive over here. Next point is ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. Novels of the naturalist movement feature common everyday people. There are no members of royalty, titans of the business world, or great minds. Instead of all these points, naturalist authors choose protagonists like McTeague, who a would-be dentist, Carrie, a rural Midwestern girl, and Buck, a mixed breed dog. These characters lead simple lives, uncluttered by the good fortune and distractions of glamour, wealth, or adventure. In common words, in ordinary or easy words, you can say that the characters in naturalist writing can be taken from common or everyday life. They are not the royal members, they are not the high ups, they are not the noble characters or noble personalities. And we can say that these characters are left only with their limited resources and their innate natures. In rare cases, such as Carrie's, a character attains a successful life but finds it ultimately unsatisfying. Sorry. These characters learn that there are more similarities than differences between the common and the uncommon. So, we can say by summing this point, first point up in a way that when characters are common and they are going to give going to through extra ordinary circumstances, it means sometimes they are facing failure, sometimes they are getting success. Naturalist authors place these ordinary characters in extraordinary situations. For example, Carrie finds herself first in the big city of Chicago and eventually New York City, and enjoying a glamorous character as an actress. In contrast, her lover Hurstwood descends from a lavish lifestyle to living on the street. In the end, what happens? In the end, his dramatic decision to take his own life is underscored by the cheap motel where he does it. So, here the naturalist writer has placed these two characters, common characters, in extraordinary situations. Next, we can take the example of Henry Fleming from the novel The Red Badge of Courage. He is an ordinary young man who makes a decision to seek the extraordinary by enlisting to fight in the civil war. He discovers that it is he who is extraordinary in his courage and that war consists of common ugliness. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is by placing ordinary people in extreme situations, naturalist writers show their readers that they too could find themselves in extraordinary situations. They also show that while some people become extraordinary due to their circumstances, others are destined to remain common. Now we will talk about the style of naturalist writers. And the first point is symbolism. Naturalist authors use symbolism to subtly convey a wealth of meaning in a few words or images. That they create meaning, lots of meaning in few by using few words or few images. For example, we can quote the novel McTeague, A Story of San Francisco by Norris. Here he uses McTeague's tooth-shaped sign as a symbol of how the character would like to perceive himself and be perceived by others. So you have to take this thing in your mind that simultaneously two different meanings are going to be created. One is based on the perception of the characters himself, and the other is depending on the perception of the other people or the readers. Although he has no license to practice dentistry, he wants the respectability such a profession would bring to him. The tooth is gold, which symbolizes McTeague's drive to acquire wealth. Gold tooth is the symbol of having wealth or having the desire for wealth. Another example is of Sister Carrie. In this novel, Dreiser introduces the rocking chair as a symbol during key moments in Carrie's life. Her rocking is here symbolizing her solitude in the world. She is alienated. She is all alone. So, rocking chair here giving the meaning of her loneliness. As she rocks, she thinks about the state of her life, and the chair moves but never goes anywhere. Still, another example of naturalist symbolism is the mountain in the red badge of courage. It is ominous and immovable and represents the power and permanence of nature. That the mountain is still over there, it is not moving to anywhere else, it is placed completely over there. So, it means that the nature is powerful as well as nature is permanent. Number 2 point in style is the details. Naturalists are similar to realistic in their attention to detail, and these works contain detailed passages describing settings, backgrounds, appearances, and emotions, all of which helps the reader get a specific perception of the characters' lives. Details also give the work a realistic feeling, a sense of being inevitable and true. If there are not details included in your piece of writing, you will not be able to create such a world which the details are given. When you were reading language in use in first and second semester, there were different articles which were based on the details. In paragraph writing, you also noted about the inclusion of all sorts of examples from everyday life or symbolizing something. These were the details, how to add details in paragraphs to make it more comprehensive, to make it more interesting. So keep those things in your mind again to understand the details, how these writers add details in their writings. The objective of these writers is to depict a subject wholly and factually. Dreiser uses details to give the reader insight into his characters in Sister Carrie, and by describing Carrie's clothing and furnishings in detail, he suggests to the reader how important appearance is to Carrie and to her first lover, Druitt. Another point is that a common naturalist pattern is to present a great deal of information at the beginning of the novel and then let the events unfold. For example, McTeague, A Story of San Francisco, gives us the idea and it adheres to this pattern. Here, the writer Norris provides a great deal of information at the beginning, and the events of the story evolve logically from this information. There are no plot twists, shocking turns of events, or unexpected characters. And the information given at the beginning is reliable, so the reader is a fully informed observer from the start. From the start, the reader is going to have an idea in his mind about the conclusion, and without any twist, the novel or the story is completely ended. Now, the tone. As in the introductory lecture on naturalism, I told you people about the tone, that it is all the time distant, it is objective in its nature, and it is indifferent to the subject apparently, but really concerned to it. Apparently, you people are going to have the tone of the writers that is quite different. It shows that it doesn't have any concern with the subject, but when you read between the lines, you become able to understand that it is really concerned to the topic. So distant and objective is in a way that the writer has not at all mixed himself up with the characters, and it doesn't look from the tone of the novel or the writings that the writer has shown himself very much attached or very much interested in that story. But on the contrary, when we understand it deeply, we come to the conclusion that the writer is really concerned to his writing. So this is all about the naturalism as well as naturalist tone. Thank you so much.